Fever is taking a step to make sure Caitlin Clark remains in Indianapolis. Now, there has been growing concerns in the last recent years of Caitlin Clark playing in Indiana that the superstar actually might want to leave. Well, I'm here to tell you, I don't believe that is the case. I believe Caitlin Clark is a loyal person, and I believe she's going to stay in Indiana. Now, I do know a lot of fans want Stephanie White gone like yesterday, and I got to agree with them, man, because she be looking real spooky at times. Now, we know the new CBA deal has got done, and there was some loopholes in the CBA that garnered Caitlin Clark a bigger contract. Well,
Stephanie White could no longer hold back her thoughts. The announcement spread across the basketball world with incredible speed, triggering an immediate wave of shock and debate among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. When the Indiana Fever made this major contract decision, many believed it was about far more than simply securing Caitlin Clark's future. In the eyes of many observers, it signaled a dramatic shift in the direction of the entire WNBA. The decision was viewed as both daring and highly controversial, leaving veteran commentators questioning whether the organization had taken an unnecessary risk. While Clark's camp remained notably quiet, reactions from around the league painted a picture of growing concern, confusion, and frustration. What appeared to be a routine front office move quickly became one of the most talked about developments in women's basketball, sparking intense discussions about the Fever's long-term plans and their relationship with the league's brightest young superstar.
Pose in the CBA that garnered Caitlin Clark a bigger contract. Well, I'm here to tell you, the Indiana Fever made an announcement last night that slipped up under the rug. Ain't nobody talking about it, but I'm here to tell you, after they see this video, everybody's going to be talking about it. Now, with all of that being said, let's head on over to X. I got something to show y'all right now. So, this is the report that came out late last night. Let me blow this all the way up for you guys so y'all can see it. Now, this is being reported that the Indiana Fever has exercised Caitlin Clark's fourth-year option, will makes her officially.
A stunning development emerged late in the evening, catching many fans off guard. Reports confirmed that the Indiana Fever had officially exercised the fourth-year option on Caitlin Clark's rookie contract, ensuring she would remain under team control for an extended period. At first glance, the move seemed like a standard contractual procedure that organizations make every year. However, the circumstances surrounding the decision and the message it sent created a completely different conversation. According to critics, the Fever were making an aggressive effort to secure the WNBA's biggest attraction through the 2027 season before any uncertainty could arise. Supporters viewed it as a smart business decision, while others interpreted it as a sign that the franchise was attempting to address underlying tensions before they became larger problems. The contrasting reactions only fueled speculation about what may be happening behind the scenes and why the organization felt compelled to act so decisively.
She is now officially under contract through 2027. Under Epic, Clark will also be able to renegotiate her fourth-year salary and add an extension. Now that is going to be the most interesting part of it all, because to be honest with you guys, Caitlin Clark do not have to add an extension. She can just take the contract up until 2027 and opt out and choose to leave. Now, this is the Indiana Fever front office trying to show solidarity, I believe, with Caitlin Clark by basically...
This move represented far more than a simple administrative step. Many viewed it as a calculated strategy designed to strengthen the Fever's position before Caitlin Clark could gain additional negotiating power in the future. By acting now, the organization effectively secured greater control over the next stage of her professional journey. Publicly, the team may present the decision as a demonstration of commitment and confidence in its franchise player. However, critics argue that the move reflects a desire to maintain leverage rather than provide genuine support. The decision places Clark on a defined path for the coming seasons and increases the significance of any future extension talks. Those negotiations could ultimately become one of the most important moments of her career. Stephanie White's response highlighted a growing belief among many observers that the Fever are taking a significant gamble. Managing a generational talent requires careful balance, and some fear the organization may be pushing that balance.
If you think Aaliyah payday was big, wait until you see yours. Cheese. That's what they doing. Now, we know Caitlin Clark literally could go to any team in the entire WNBA and be the highest paid player ever. So to me, it's not about the money with Caitlin. Caitlin has the ball in her court after 2027 because Caitlin can simply go anywhere she wants to go. Whether that stay in Indiana or whether that go out to LA.
What makes this situation so surprising is how quickly the Indiana Fever acted to secure Caitlin Clark's future. In most cases, franchises prefer to wait and evaluate how upcoming television deals, salary cap changes, and collective bargaining negotiations might reshape the league before making major commitments. Indiana, however, appeared unwilling to take that risk. The organization fully understands Clark's value, both on and off the court, and many believe that urgency influenced its decision. There is a growing perception that the Fever fear the possibility of losing their franchise centerpiece to a larger market down the road. Cities with enormous media exposure and commercial opportunities could become attractive destinations for a superstar of Clark's stature. As a result, pressure inside the organization continues to build. Many understand that Clark has become the founder
because of her notoriety. Hell, somebody just listed her as being the GOAT in conversations with Michael Jordan and LeBron James. It was a clip that was going around and somebody straight listed her as being the GOAT. That is the impact this young lady has brought to fans. And what's crazy about it is it ain't even up for a debate. It's not even up for a debate, bro. We know Caitlin Clark to go. So I think the most interested thing moving forward is going to be what Caitlin Clark will do, because I believe she got all the way in.
For quite some time, speculation has circulated regarding whether Caitlin Clark is truly as comfortable in Indiana as public appearances might suggest. While she has consistently demonstrated professionalism and commitment to the organization, questions continue to surface about what opportunities could exist elsewhere in the future. Larger markets offer expanded visibility, increased business opportunities, and an even greater platform for global recognition. Those possibilities naturally generate discussion whenever a player of Clark's caliber is involved. Stephanie White understands that the WNBA is entering a new era where elite stars possess greater influence over their careers than ever before. Players who drive ratings, attendance, and media attention have far more leverage than previous generations. Because of that reality, many observers interpret the Fever's decision as an effort to secure as much control as possible before Clark reaches a point where she can exercise greater
young lady substantially well. Somebody said now they have the leverage to fully ruin her without fearing her leave. CC is stupid. I wouldn't say she's stupid. She didn't have a choice. Somebody said next year Caitlin will renegotiate a 3-year max contract to go free agent the same year as Aaliyah Boston. I don't know. What's the most amount of years you can sign a contract for? Is 10 years. 10 years possible. I don't know about that. Somebody said, what if she was a terrible season statistically? They could.
Another aspect of this story drawing significant attention is the possibility of future contract negotiations. Although Clark remains under team control through the current agreement, evolving league rules and future collective bargaining provisions could create opportunities for substantial financial adjustments and long-term extensions. That is where the situation becomes far more complicated. By exercising the option, the Fever have strengthened their position, but they have not completely eliminated Clark's ability to shape her future. Ultimately, any extension beyond her current obligations will still require her approval. She remains in control of the most important decisions ahead. If she chooses not to commit long-term, she could simply fulfill her existing contract and eventually enter free agency as one of the most sought-after athletes the sport has ever seen. That possibility continues to fuel intense debate about what comes next.
Anyone that they have decided to exercise that clause and keep Caitlin Clark. But just like I stated, man, It's all up to Caitlin Clark. A lot of fans want Caitlin Clark to leave Indiana, strictly not because of the fans, not because of the location, just solely because of the front office. A lot of people has lost faith in the Indiana Fever front office that support Caitlin Clark, and they had every right to. It boils back to last season when she got injured, man. There was a lack of transparency. It was, man, everything's day to day. It was she should be back by August. August came, no answer. No, she should be back possibly before the playoffs. Playoffs came, no answer.
League insiders frequently point out that Caitlin Clark's financial situation is unlike that of almost any player who came before her. Through endorsements, sponsorships, and business partnerships, her earnings away from basketball have already reached extraordinary levels. This provides her with a degree of flexibility that few professional athletes enjoy. Because of that, many believe her decisions will be driven less by financial considerations and more by factors such as legacy, championships, personal fulfillment, and long-term career goals. Critics argue that this changes the entire dynamic between player and franchise. Traditional contract strategies may not have the same influence on someone whose opportunities extend far beyond the court. From Stephanie White's perspective, the challenge facing the Fever is enormous. Managing a player with Clark's influence, popularity, and reach requires a different approach, and some believe the organization is still learning how to navigate that reality.
Today, it was she should be back by August. August came, no answer. No, she should be back possibly before the playoffs. Playoffs came, no answer. Then it was rumblings that Caitlin Clark was actually ready to go, and they actually wanted to save her for this season. So whatever the case may be, she's there. But guys, get down in the comment section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this. Keep them bells on. Until next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here.
The comparisons between Caitlin Clark and icons like Michael Jordan and LeBron James are no longer viewed as exaggerated praise. Her influence extends far beyond the basketball court, impacting attendance, television ratings, merchandise sales, and the overall visibility of women's basketball. Since arriving in Indiana, she has helped transform the Fever into one of the most talked-about franchises in sports. Because of that impact, every contract decision involving Clark carries enormous significance. The organization is not simply protecting a talented player. It is protecting a movement that has accelerated the growth of the WNBA. If the Fever fail to build the right environment around her, the consequences could extend far beyond a single roster decision. One of the concerns repeatedly raised by critics involves the organization's handling of player health and injury communication. Throughout recent seasons, there were occasions when updates regarding player availability appeared unclear or inconsistent, leading to frustration among fans and media members. When a superstar is involved, transparency becomes even more important because every development attracts national attention. The uncertainty surrounding certain injury situations created questions about whether the franchise was effectively communicating with both supporters and players. As a result, some observers believe trust has become one of the most important issues the organization must address moving forward. Speculation has also emerged regarding how Clark views her long-term future. Although she has consistently represented the Fever professionally and has never publicly suggested dissatisfaction, discussions about potential opportunities elsewhere continue to circulate. Larger markets naturally offer broader commercial opportunities and greater international exposure. For an athlete with one of the strongest personal brands in sports, those possibilities are impossible to ignore. However, others believe her competitive mindset and Midwestern values could ultimately outweigh the appeal of larger cities. The uncertainty surrounding that question continues to fuel debate throughout the basketball community. Social media reactions to the contract news revealed how divided opinions have become. Some fans celebrated the decision, viewing it as a major victory for the franchise and a sign that Clark remains central to Indiana's future. Others expressed concern that contractual control does not automatically guarantee long-term commitment. Many argued that creating a winning culture, maintaining transparency, and building a championship contender will ultimately matter far more than any contract clause. The wide range of reactions highlights just how invested people have become in Clark's career and the future of the Fever organization. Another major talking point centers on Clark's unique financial position. Thanks to endorsement deals, sponsorships, and business partnerships, her earning potential extends well beyond her WNBA salary. This gives her a level of independence rarely seen in professional sports. Because financial necessity is less of a factor, many believe her future decisions will be based primarily on basketball goals, organizational stability, and personal legacy. That reality changes the balance of power between player and franchise. Traditional contract strategies may not carry the same influence when dealing with an athlete whose value reaches far beyond the league itself. League observers have also discussed the possibility of Clark and Aaliyah Boston eventually reaching major career decisions around similar periods. If two cornerstone players were ever given the opportunity to shape their futures simultaneously, it could dramatically alter the competitive landscape of the league. Whether that scenario ever becomes reality remains uncertain, but it demonstrates how much attention is being paid to the Fever's long-term planning. The organization appears determined to avoid unnecessary risks by securing stability whenever possible. Many analysts believe Indiana faces a unique challenge. While the city provides passionate support and a strong basketball culture, Clark's popularity has expanded into a global phenomenon. Her influence now reaches audiences far beyond traditional WNBA markets. For that reason, discussions about brand growth, business opportunities, and future destinations continue to surface. Stephanie White and other basketball insiders understand that modern superstars operate in a world where on-court success represents only part of the equation. Off-court opportunities have become equally important in shaping career decisions. At the same time, supporters of the Fever argue that Clark has repeatedly demonstrated loyalty throughout her career. She has consistently embraced challenges and remained committed to the teams she represents. Those qualities lead many fans to believe she will continue investing in the organization's future. However, professional sports can change quickly, and relationships between players and franchises often depend on trust, communication, and competitive success. If those elements begin to weaken, even the strongest partnerships can face challenges. The financial impact Clark has generated for the franchise cannot be overstated. Increased ticket sales, sponsorship interest, media attention, and overall franchise visibility have dramatically elevated the Fever's profile. As a result, the stakes surrounding every major decision have become significantly higher. The organization is not only competing for championships but also protecting a business investment that has grown tremendously during Clark's time with the team. Losing a player of her caliber would affect both basketball operations and long-term organizational value. Looking ahead, many believe the evolving collective bargaining agreement could further strengthen player influence across the league. As the WNBA continues to grow, athletes are expected to gain greater leverage regarding salaries, contract structures, and career flexibility. Clark is viewed by many as the face of this new era. Because of that, every contract-related move involving her is analyzed through a broader lens. Some see the Fever's decision as smart long-term planning, while others interpret it as an attempt to maintain leverage before future rule changes arrive.